beast! Ah!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Not the Bees. I'm Megs.
I'm Elizabeth.
And this week we watched 1993's Deadfall, starring Michael Biehn and James Coburn. Nicolas Cage is a side character. So Joe, who is played by Michael Biehn, and a Mark at the beginning of the movie, they're driving to a warehouse for a drug deal. Joe is carrying the money, and the dealer, as he approaches him, he calls wire, like it's a trap. There's a brief shootout. The person buying the drugs runs off, and it turns out it was a con. The police there aren't real. The dealer is Joe's dad, Mike, played by Coburn. But there's been an accident. The gun that Joe had was supposed to have been loaded with blanks, but he had real bullets in his gun, so he shot his father. As his father dies, he tells Joe to find his brother, Lou, and says that he has something called the cake. But it's not explained what the cake is. No idea. He doesn't feel comfortable. Joe doesn't feel comfortable asking anybody about what it is. So he goes to a bus station. He gets a suitcase from a locker. There's a book inside that has his uncle's info, and he catches a bus from there to California. In a cafe, which actually looks more like an open-air market, he watches the men around running a bookie operation, and then he asks a regular about his uncle. The guy says that he doesn't know Lou, but there's been somebody that's been listening to him the whole time, a guy named Eddie King, who is played by Nicolas Cage, and he is Lou's assistant. So he takes Joe to go see Lou, who is also played by Coburn. Lou already knows that his brother is dead. Joe is shocked that his brother had, or that his father had a twin. Lou asks what happened, but Joe lies and deflects and says that Mike was on his own. Lou commiserates and tells Joe to go out with Eddie. He'll show Joe the town. Eddie is not happy about this at all. Basically calls Eddie's bookie operation sloppy. Eddie goes and picks up his girl, Diane, who is played by Sarah Traeger. Joe is immediately smitten with her. Eddie is adorably awkward, and Diane doesn't give a shit about the flowers that Eddie brought for her. So then Eddie takes Joe to help with a con that they're doing at a bar. Eddie and Diane orchestrate a con over a bracelet that she's wearing and leave. Joe's job is to pick it up. Eddie offers the bartender $500 if she sees it. And Joe comes back from the bathroom or something, wherever the bracelet was, and the bartender tries to say that it's hers. She offers to buy it from him for $200 and then calls Eddie's number to get the $500, but it's been disconnected. Eddie takes them to a store from here. He goes in to make a call, and he leaves Joe and Diane in the car. They flirt ominously. Next, we see tits. They arrive at a strip club. Eddie sends Joe over to a corner to collect some money from one of the customers, a guy called the Baby. He owes Lou about $1,500. Joe gets to it while Eddie goes back to the car to get high and lose his shit. He doesn't think that Joe can pull this off, but Joe and the Baby come out a couple of minutes later, and the guy is paid, and he and Joe seem friendly. Joe tells Eddie to, let him keep the money. He'll give it to Lou himself. They end up dropping Diane off. There's a bearded guy that we see following them from a car. From here, we see Joe breaking into Lou's office during the night to find a clue about the cake. He finds an old photo of his dad, mother, and his uncle and wonders if they fell out over her. Back at his motel, Diane is in his room waiting for him. She comes on to him, but he doesn't believe her and throws her down on the bed, and then she spills her guts. She's also a con woman. He's different from any of her other marks. She should have played him different, but he stops her, says that he knows what it's like to be alone like her. She tells him that she doesn't even sleep with Eddie. They fuck in the slowest, most 90s way I've ever fucking seen. It looks honestly painful and is far too long. After that happens, Diane asks Joe about the photo that she saw in a locket of a woman with red hair. He confesses that it's actually his mother, not an old girlfriend. She calls him sweet and kisses him, and then she leaves. The next day, it's Lou's birthday, and Joe goes over to his house. There is a big ham dinner with Lou and his very young girlfriend named Blanche. She's made Lou a ridiculous birthday cake. Joe helps him to blow out the candles. He gives Lou the money that he got from the strip club. Lou says that Eddie's been trying to get that money for months. Back at the strip club, Eddie is getting hammered alone, and the Baby comes over and ends up telling Eddie that he didn't settle his debt. Joe said all he had to do was come outside and shake hands with Joe and it would be cleared. The baby laughs and says somebody's after Eddie's job, maybe even his woman. Eddie goes ballistic on his way out as he leaves the club. The bearded man is there observing. The beard ends up following Eddie outside and tries to strangle him. The beard is also a fake. Eddie stabs him in the leg, slams his head in the car door a few times. Then he pulls him up and gets the guy to say that someone named Sam sent him before Eddie slits his throat. Eddie goes to Diane's and screams about someone trying to kill him. Diane makes him a drink. He finds a cigar in the ashtray and she says that it's not what he thinks. He does a bunch of coke and throws a literal pillow punching tantrum and then goes to strangle her, but she's pulled a gun and tells him to leave. After Eddie leaves, she runs to Joe and tells him about Eddie. He tried to kill her and now he's going after Joe's uncle. Joe tells her to stay there and goes after Eddie. Eddie is at Lou's office. He pulls a gun. Lou tries to talk him down, not taking him very seriously. They argue about Joe. Eddie accuses Lou of replacing him with Joe. Eddie gets up and he's screaming nonsense into Lou's face. And then we cut to some kitchen that's within like this open air market that they're at a kitchen stall with a deep fry vat, and it's bubbling away with Eddie shuffling some cards. Lou is tied to a chair and gagged. It's the cafe, and Joe, like it's in the open air market. Joe's made it there in time to fight with Eddie and try to save Lou. Eddie and Joe scuffle. We learn Eddie is actually bald as he's trying to push Joe into the oil vat. Joe gets the upper hand and pushes Eddie into it instead, face first. Eddie is dead. Joe frees Lou, and they carry Eddie's body to a work site. Lou tells Joe he needs help bringing in his marks. Same game as he had with his father, pretending to kill him. Joe says to find someone else. Lou really tries to convince him, but Joe leaves without giving him an answer. Back at his motel, Joe tells Diane that Eddie is dead and Lou owns him. He's very paranoid, thinking that this is too easy. He tells Diane that the con Lou wants is familiar and he doesn't know if he should do it or leave. Diane says to do both, do the job and then leave the past behind. He relaxes and falls to sleep. In a dream sequence, we see Joe walking with a gun against a black background while a montage of old photos flies by, ending with a flash of his father's death from the beginning of the movie. Joe wakes up and repeats Diane's words from earlier about leaving the past behind as he looks at his own copy of the same photograph that he saw earlier in his uncle's office that has his uncle torn out, leaving just his parents. Now we're in Lou's office, and Joe's voiceover is telling us that he just asked Lou about the cake and couldn't bear to take it from him. It's a fucking ring box that's made to look like a chocolate wedding cake that he had made for Joe's mother. Apparently they were going to get married, but Mike stole her from him. He tried to give the ring to Joe, but Joe tells him to hang on to it. Lou says once the job is over, Joe should come with him and his girlfriend to Tahiti. Joe is like, absolutely. Lou explains the job. It's diamonds. They're stolen. He gives Joe a watch, some money, and one of the diamonds. The mark is at a pool hall. It's where Joe will pick him up. To get to him, he has to get past a pool shark. So there's the side quest involved with it, with the entry. The pool shark is named Morgan Fatsgrip, and it's played by Charlie fucking Sheen. And he's got a stupid archery glove on and one silver pinky nail. His red suit jacket is like shimmery red leather that looks like snakeskin. And he's got like a big fucking crush on Mark Twain for some reason. Fats ends up winning the game. Joe owes him $24,000. Joe doesn't have it, but he offers his watch. That's worth $25,000. It's the watch that Lou gave him. Fats has his two associates take Joe and the watch to get evaluated. The person evaluating the watch is the mark. It's Dr. Lime. Joe shows him the diamond that Lou gave to him. He tells the doctor that a dead person they both know named Harry gave Joe his name if he came across diamonds and needed to unload them. He's got 30 of them, 5 carats each. That's $60 million, but he only wants 2. And Dr. Lime is like, of course, like, I'll take that deal immediately. He then makes Joe shake his hand, his right hand, which is literally an animatronic pair of large, ornate silver scissors. It's super weird. Joe ends up going back to the motel. Diane has a nice white dress on. They talk about going up the coast. Joe reminds her that there's a job first. He tells her that the last time that he had a con like this, it went bad. It's clear he doesn't want to do it. He tells her he's falling in love with her, and she tries to convince him to leave with her now, but he says he's too far in. She tells him that she loves him back. They kiss. He leaves. Joe goes back to the cafe as it's closing. Lou and his friends are all there, and they prepare for the job. Lou tells Joe once he has the money to move fast. Next, Joe is in a limo with Dr. Lime. The doctor makes some veiled threats, and is otherwise ominous. They meet at the cafe. Joe is the go-between again and takes a few stones from Lou so Dr. Lime can examine them, but the doctor wants to evaluate them all. Joe says no deal until they see them all, so Lou demands that his diamonds are sent back to him. There's an argument until the doctor decides to show the money. Joe says that he'll hold the money until the doctor has checked all the stones, and Lou finally agrees to it. As Joe goes to take the diamonds, he pulls the same as he did at the beginning. He calls wire and pulls a gun to shoot Lou with blanks, but then he freezes as the memory of his dad's death plays over in his mind. So one of the doctor's men shoots Lou instead, and all of Lou's guys come out pretending to be the FBI. There's a big shootout, but Joe runs. Outside, everything is black except the light from a street lamp. Underneath is a young redhead that resembles Joe's mother. She turns and runs, and he calls her to wait. She doesn't, so he runs after her. He catches her up at a carousel, and it's Diane. She's wearing a red wig. She apologizes, and out comes his father and two of his dad's goons. Mike takes the case with all the money and pays his two guys, and then he also pays Diane. Diane says she doesn't want the money, but Mike makes her take it and then tells Joe that the rest is theirs. Joe is aghast at this. His uncle is dead. His father says he was just another mark. Joe pulls a gun and turns on the carousel. Mike tries to convince Joe this was a good job. Lou got what he deserved. He killed Joe's mother on a job. Joe asks if the bullets or blanks are real, but Mike won't give him a straight answer, so Joe shoots the case, which flies open, covering the carousel in cash. Joe walks away, his voiceover spouting some honest bullshit as if it exists in his line of work. Roll credits. Elizabeth, what are your thoughts on this movie?
It's a little scattered. It's almost like three separate films in one. There's the stuff with the Find My Uncle, there's all the stuff with Eddie, and then there's the pool con. And the only thing that ties it together is his father coming back at the end.
Right. Yeah. It's I also was really disappointed with like the production quality of the movie, because it's like I know most movies are shot on sound sets, right? Like that's fine. This looked like a soundstage recreation of like a high school theater stage. And like you could tell it was just so like everything was so obviously not a thing.
Yeah.
It just obvious props.
Yep.
And I don't know if they just like pulled them from wherever and just cobbled things together, or if they genuinely like built it like this, but I was really disappointed in the production value. I don't think that anyone would believe that Joe is a con man.
No, he's got way too honest a face.
Way too honest a face, manner, all of that. It's like the Hallmark Movie Channel's Con Man movie. Like the birthday scene especially, like what the fuck was that?
My favorite scene is when they go to the strip club and Eddie goes outside thinking that he's tricked Joe. There's no way Joe's going to get this money out of the baby. And he starts snorting cocaine and it's covering his mustache.
Yeah, and like a fucking toddler. Oh my God.
Snow.
Yes.
It's like snow. And he's laughing uproariously. Yeah, let's talk about Nick Cage for a minute. He looks 30 years older than he is in this movie.
He does. He also seems very at home in this role.
Yes.
Which is probably why he reprised it for 2017's Arsenal, which we've already watched and reviewed.
How can he reprise it? His fucking face melts off.
I think that's why they call it a prequel sequel, because it can't be either, right?
Yeah.
It's a paradoxical kind of thing, because it can't be a sequel because he died in the first one. And it can't be a prequel because that movie took place 24 years later.
It's a parallel universe, Eddie.
Yeah. It has to be. But, I mean, it honestly makes sense that he would have reprised it in 2017, right? Because his brother was involved both times. Christopher Coppola wrote and directed Deadfall, and he played his brother in Arsenal. I believe he also directed that movie. Hang on, I'm checking. I'm double checking. If he didn't direct it, I believe that he also had a hand in writing it. Hang on.
Let's see. Christopher Coppola.
Oh no, I'm wrong. He did not write or direct. That is weird though. That's strange. But like there's also like a Wikipedia page about the movie where it says that yes, it is the prequel sequel.
Yeah, I
and that
think
makes
that
no fucking sense.
That Wikipedia author is on crack.
They must be.
Just because he plays a guy named Eddie in 2 movies doesn't mean that it's the same Eddie.
No, it is. It is Eddie King. It's the same character. And it's like I saw stuff on Reddit and on Quora, and like it's not just on Wikipedia. Like it is. It's an accepted thing. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. He just played the same character in 2 different movies, like down to the fucking hairstyle and the clothes and everything. Like he was the same dude. And that's fine. That's fine.
And he dies in both of them.
He dies in both of them.
It cannot possibly be the same character. He dies in both movies.
I'm just telling you what people on the internet that came before our review of this has stated.
Well, they're all crack smokers.
Also, the scene with Michael Sheen. I'm sorry. Yeah. No.
You mean Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. I definitely mean Charlie Sheen. The pool table has no pockets.
Ah!
It has no pockets at all. And like they weren't even really clever about the way that they tried to like shoot it to avoid those angles. I noticed it like halfway through the scene. Also, that whole scene is just...
What kind of pool do you play on a table with no pockets? It's got to be a real game.
I don't know. I mean, he did call it billiards, but I'm pretty sure billiards is pool.
This movie is all over the place. It's got a stellar cast, though. It has got a stellar cast. It's got Michael Biehn, Nicolas Cage, Peter Fonda, James Coburn, Charlie Sheen, Talia Shire. Mickey Dolenz. It's got a fantastic cast.
There is a game. It is called Carom Billiards. It's a game played on a billiard table with no pockets. It's also known as French billiards or carom billiards.
Well, there, now we've learned something.
Huh, interesting. So, you know what? I'll retract my statements. That movie was a little bit smarter in that scene than I was. So, yeah, this movie is... It's not a good movie. It is not a good movie, but
Nicolas Cage's
accent
work.
Oh my
His
god.
accent work. Again.
His sunglasses were like a fucking character.
He's so good.
He's so good. Like this movie is not a good movie.
No.
It's really not. And apart from any scenes where Cage is involved or his character is directly spoken about, it's not good. But he makes this movie watchable.
He does.
He does.
What would we give this movie as a rating? Because it has no percentage on Rotten Tomatoes, which just means that, it is from 1993. It means that no critics reviewed it.
Yeah.
So what would our review be? What would we give this movie?
I feel like I'm honestly not comfortable giving it higher than a C. Also because there's a huge plot hole, right? Why did Mike even want the cake to begin with? Why did he want that?
It's just an excuse to get Joe to go out to California.
But
it's never mentioned, how did he know that his brother had all these fucking diamonds?
How did he know any of this shit?
No.
None of that is explained. The cake is a lie.
The cake is always a lie, Megan.
The cake is always a fucking lie.
So we would give the movie a C. What would we give Nick Cage? What would we give the caginess?
I want you to go back real quick and I want you to look at what we gave him for Arsenal because I think I tried to give him an A. Because I think I really enjoyed his character. And I think we might have settled on a B.
Let's see. Let me see. Arsenal, we gave him an A.
We did give him an... Yeah, because it's an A. It's an A. It's an A. Like, no one can be that insane in so many different facets as Nicolas Cage. No one can play so many different kinds of deranged, or deluded or psychotic or like sadistic. Like no one can, he has a range that I've never seen on anyone else. So even though like this portrayal is like ridiculous and over the top and doesn't even really fit in with like the schema of the film, it still works and it's still brilliant and it's the only watchable part of this fucking movie.
It is.
So yeah, like I would definitely give it an A.
All right, that's an A for Cage.
Yeah, this movie is just really strange. This movie is really strange. The production quality is not great. The lighting is not great. It's okay. Like the direction is okay. I think the direction is all right. It's just, you know, it definitely feels choppy with the edits. So it makes it seem, like you said, like 3 different distinct stories.
And it's never clear who sends the hitman after Eddie.
Right. Just someone named Sam. We don't know who Sam is. I don't know. Like it's a little bit ridiculous, but you know, it was like there are bad movies that are just bad, and there are bad movies that are honestly thoroughly enjoyable, and
this is one of them.
This is one of them. Like his face, like the prosthetic work that they did for what his face looked like after the deep fryer. Was honestly really fucking good.
Oh yeah, with his eyes just like hanging on.
Yeah. Fucking pepperoni pizza. Ugh. But yeah, so I mean that's Deadfall from 1993, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what we're doing and you want to follow along, which of course we absolutely hope that you are, we are on socials on Instagram at NotTheBeastPod. You can also support us on patreon.com/notthebees if you want to take us a couple of bucks. We would also, of course, enjoy if you interacted with any of our episodes on any of the platforms that you use. Drop us a comment if you have a thought that you want to share with us. We'd certainly be open to it. But that's going to be it for us this week. I've been Megs.
I'm Elizabeth.
And we'll see you next time.